Jason Atherton, thank you very much. I know how busy you are. Backwards and forwards from Singapore, new restaurant just opened.
Yep.
You're going to cook something special for us today, which is?
Basically what we're going to do is, obviously using Maldon sea salt, one of my favourite salts, we're going to be doing a cured pork belly, which we then pan fry very lightly, and we serve it with nut seeds, grains and oats, summer cabbage, pork floss, which is something we picked up in Asia.
Sorry, what's it called?
Pork floss.
And how do you do that?
So basically what we do with the pork is we cook the skin until it's nice and tender in a water bath.
Right.
Then we dehydrate it for a couple of days, and then when we put that back into oil, it puffs right up and turns into the world's largest quaver.
The end result? Extraordinary.
There you go, if you put it side of my head, you can see how big it is.
Your head or the pork?
Yeah.
Sorry. So let's have a go.
So this pork belly's been cooked for about 14-15 hours, so it's really nice and tender. And we're just going to go nicely through and against the grain. So we've got a nice, and we just square that off.
Good.
So we get a nice long piece.
And will this appear on your menu here at Pond Street?
Yeah. We have it on the menu from time to time. It's one of our dishes we first opened with.
Right.
And then we. Always cook onto a piece of. I like to use plancha grills. It's something we used to do at Elwee. So all the meat fish here gets either done in the charcoal oven or on the plancha grills.
Okay.
And it just means I feel we have a little bit more control of what we're doing.
So that's on greaseproof paper.
On greaseproof paper.
Straight onto the grill.
Straight onto the grill. Now we're going to piece up our garnish. So we've got some normal cooked lentils, which have just been cooked down in a little bit of chicken stock, some garlic, bay leaf, thyme, and mirepoix. Inside here we've got the pumpkin seeds, oats, seeds and grains, so all lots of different types of different seeds. We've just added a little bit of sugar and salt to that. The idea of this is supposed to mimic where we get the pork from, the dingy old pork. It feeds on oats, seeds and grains.
Oh, right. Okay.
So we're trying to mimic what its diet is, you know. Goes on. And then we've got a sauce, a pork sauce to be made with beer.
Oh, sorry, pork?
With beer.
Yeah.
So basically we've used a pork stock. It was just reduced beer, shallots and onions, and then we add the pork stock to it, bring it right down, a little bit of sherry vinegar, and that's it.
Right.
So it won't take too long for that pork to be cooked.
You've just turned it?
Just turned it over, and we'll just do that all the way over, and then it's ready to go. Right, then just a little bit of butter. I don't use too much butter in my cuisine because I don't like my food to feel too heavy, you know?
Right.
So I use a little bit to heat up some vegetables, mostly olive oil, and obviously my Maldon sea salt.
So it's pork is fairly fatty anyway, so I presume that's why you do it that way around.
Yeah. So the less fat we add to it, the better it's got to be, right?
Right.
You know. That's our pork. Really is that quick. And we just move over. Bring that over and track them as well.
Sorry.
Right, and what we've got here, this is fermented apple puree.
Okay.
So what we do is we peel down the apple, put it inside a sous vide bag, and then we just let it ferment itself naturally.
How long would that take?
It takes about 12 hours.
Okay.
And then it's got quite an unusual taste.
So you're doing it in batches?
Yeah.
And you get worried when you use the word ferment, but it's a natural process.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially for something like an apple, with the amount of acidity it's got inside.
Yeah.
The minute you try to do something with that, it just reacts straight away.
Sure.
So we're just making a bit of a base. And we've got our pork on. At this stage, we just season it. A little bit of our Maldon sea salt at the top. Pork floss.
So this is the name you've come up with, pork floss?
No, that's its name in Asia.
That's its real name in Asia?
That's its real name,
okay.
yeah. That's what they call it.
All right.
And you can get chicken floss, fish floss. So try and say that one after a few drinks. Fish floss.
Fish floss.
So on goes the cabbage. And just a little part of the... And then we add a little bit of the forage herbs.
So what are these?
We've got some nasturtium leaves.
Nasturtium leaves, yeah.
Yeah, just lay around like so. A little bit of sweet Sicily.
Sweet Sicily. It's an unusual one.
Yeah. So it's got a real, obviously, hence the name Sweet Sicily, but it's got a real beautiful, unusual, something like a little tingling sensation on the tongue when you eat it. It's delicious. A little bit of olive oil, and last but not least, we normally let the waiter pour on the pork sauce at the table, so we'd send it like that.
Takes it out, yeah.
Yeah, just so it's a little bit of theatre at the table, and then the waiter just dresses. We end up with a dish, just point it to the camera, which is our roasted pork belly.
Very nice,
With pork floss, nut seeds and grains, and fermented apple puree.
Tremendous.
Using Maldon sea salt, of course.
Looks really good.